Oxfordshire, not too far from Reading, but it's half-term week, which means the kids are running around. So headset on. But welcome to week 5. I hope the term is going well for you. I hope you are well and truly crunching through things, depending on what part you're in. There's a few things I want to share with you today. The most important one really is the realization that you guys don't have an economic society. Now, you might think that's fine. Who cares, really? Well, I think it really does matter actually, because economic societies are, they're the meat and bones of economics departments and economics courses at university. You'll hopefully be in some societies. Various societies. I honestly don't know how it's worked if you're in part 1, given COVID-19. But nonetheless, societies are one of these meat and bread things, meat and bones, whatever the right phrase is, of being at university. And sadly, this year, the economic society has died a death, to put it bluntly. It varies from year to year, depending on which the students that are involved, how thriving it is, how many things take place. But why is an economic society important? Well, it gives you an informal way to get together with people on your course, to perhaps organise socials. That's something that all economic societies do. But it can do more things. So this is the Economic Society at the University of Warwick. It's a pretty famous society because they organise, and have organised for over 20 years now, a student conference every year. I say it's over 20 years because I went to it when I was an undergraduate student. And you can see they do all sorts of things. They do socials, of course, but they do careers type events, networking events. They get talks, really good speakers in. Now, we've got a bunch of great economists in our department. You could ask each of them to give a talk to you at a time that you were interested in. Conversations is an example of things that we can do together as a department. Tours, so maybe that's a bit ambitious. Annual ball, perhaps. Sport. And there's been an economics department five-a-side team in the past. There's been a staff versus student games. All these things, they involve a little bit of organisation on our part, but also a bit of organisation on your part. Now, as mentioned, there's no economic society this year. I think that's a really big loss, a really big problem, potential loss, I should say, because we can still do something about it. Yes, we can't be ratified by the by RUSU, but nonetheless, we can still have an economic society if you want to. So please, if you're interested in trying to be involved, and I'd really encourage you to get in touch with me, drop me an email, and we'll start to talk about how we can perhaps start to rectify the issue of having no economic society this year, of all years, the year of a global pandemic. So let's get this sorted. Get in touch with me about it, please. What else did I want to say today? I want to give you the COVID-19 update in terms of the situation. I hope that you are familiar with this website. You might say to me, well, why should I be familiar with a website that's got lots of depressing numbers? Well, it's really good to be au fait with where things are at. Okay, this is the the government's website even, which tells you where things are in terms of cases, testing capacity, healthcare issues, and also sadly morbidity, mortality, even when it comes to COVID-19. It's good to be really well informed because people will come at you with particular viewpoints about where things are at. They might say, oh, it's not worth bothering about because, well, it's a case-endemic, isn't it? That's the thing that people talk about. Well, in that case, you might, it's not, you don't want to be too negative. We all know about the accusations of scaremongering and things like that. But you can see that in terms of deaths, we're clearly picking up onto an exponentially growing series here. So things are increasing. We had about 200 a day last week, less than that the week before. Things are growing, and you can see just from looking at that is fairly exponential. We've got a strict definition of exponential, of course, but it's good to be informed. And the nice thing about this website, nice is just about the right word, but you can look at, say, healthcare, hospitalizations, and you can also look at them not just for the UK, where you've got currently close on 8,000 patients in hospital, but we can also look at, say, the south, so southeast NHS region. You see we've got 460 patients in hospital in the southeast. So the southeast isn't the problem area in the UK at the moment, but you can see that things again are picking up in terms of hospitalizations. So we're not in any sense in a situation where we should be being complacent. So again, I just want to remind you in the usual way that I've been doing every week. Really, please do pay attention to social distancing, play your part there. And please wear face coverings, especially when you're in teaching sessions in the university. But please do play a part in social distancing, wearing face coverings, etc., so that we can get through the pandemic as quickly as we possibly can. The final thing I want to do while sharing my screen with you is talk you through our department bookings page, because a few of you have been using this, but I want to emphasize it's really easy to use, and it's a really easy way to get a hold of us and get a meeting booked really quickly. I've got a meeting booked with me at 3 o'clock with somebody. It really works, and it really works really quickly and easily as well. So you've got to be logged in, you've got to be into your university account. Then you would select you want a feedback consultation hours online meeting. If you do want a face-to-face meeting, that's fine, but please get in touch with your lecturer on the back of making an appointment, just to chat with them in advance about it. An online meeting can happen at any time because we're all available via Teams. A number of you have been messaging me on Teams, which is great because I am available on Teams, so please do be getting in touch. But say you want to choose me to meet up with, you find my name down here. There I am, and then it gives you, well, right now it doesn't give you much in terms of availability, actually. For whatever reason, I'm not very available. I think it's still loading up. I think it's my internet connection's a little bit slow. But in principle, you would select a particular day. So let's select a day next month, say the 5th of November. I am available, but everything's still loading. Okay, so I'm going to leave the website for just a little while to hopefully pick up. I think it's my internet rather than anything else that's playing up. But basically what happens is you select the date you want an appointment, you select the person, usually we'll be loading endlessly. Select the time on the day, because once you select somebody, a set of options will appear here. And then you select them, and a meeting is created. It's created in Teams, and then you can just go and access that meeting when the time comes. It's well worth always having Teams open because, well, that's where you can have a calendar, which all these kinds of things appear in. Okay. Final things to say. If you are a Part 2 student thinking about placements, well worth giving a lot of thought to that. Tina's emailed you today about a webinar, an online seminar about placements in a pandemic. Equally, you're probably worried if you're a Part 3 student about what happens next year, especially given a pandemic. But there's still a job market out there, there's still recruiters out there. Government Economic Services one in particular, and the Government Economic Service placements, they're currently open to apply. It's an excellent opportunity, excellent placement scheme that lots of our students have used in the past. The online portal to apply, deadline is November the 3rd, and for the moment, it's really easy. It couldn't be easier. There's no CV required when you apply before November the 3rd, and you've just got to answer 2 competency questions and a short numerical test. Really couldn't be simpler. Go ahead, do that. Put your hat in the ring. If you don't put your hat in the ring, no one's going to be able to. You're never going to know how well you might have done, and the experience of applying is really, really beneficial, really, really useful for you. So do have a go if you're in Part 2. That's all for now. Have a great week and keep in touch.